we defined the choices of ROFS to simplify them, right? Okay. You either pick R1, which is picking first pick, which is R1, because the enemy team is going to pick blue side. Got it. You either pick R5, which is what DRX have done here, because you picked second pick and the enemy team is going to pick blue side. Or you, in the rare case, just simply pick blue side, which is otherwise known as B5, because the enemy team is going to pick first pick. Right. We kind of solved it, right? Like, those are the three main archetypes.
That's kind of how it works. Well, let's see exactly what DRX can make of it. I did like the analysis on the space about the fact that if you do choose second pick, then you do get counters, and then you can just try and win lanes. Sort of what we saw out of DNS in game number 2. So DRX going to do their best in order to replicate that, as we have Rumble and Malphite being taken away here. I assume Jace will follow. Ambessa is a good ban, as is the Vi that we did see in game number 2. We'll see what is going to change, though, if anything, moving into this one, as Brad is taken away.
Goodbye. Vara's taken away some of these lane bullies.
Oh, well, someone was listening to Wadid.
Jace, not banned.
Okay.
So it's got to be banned here.
Surely. Unless they feel like they can do what D+ did, which is beat Jace. Could be the way.
Could be the way. They think they can beat it, but it was beaten with Vi. This time they banned the Vi and give the Jace.
That seems like a potentially bad thing to do. But let's see whether it pays off.
They don't want Pioshik to play Hecarim. They're like, yeah, I'll play this instead. It's the trap set.
Well, this is already dire straits for Willa. But the Aurora is going to be the decision here for most likely Yukal in that mid lane. We haven't seen her top side for quite some time.
This is a really strange situation because Jace is powerful for all the reasons we listed in the previous series, but it's still relatively unexplored territory in terms of the well-roundedness of how you can build compositions, because the comp we saw earlier didn't have engage, right? It was really cool. They got Jace, they shot a lot of shock blasts, and then got engaged on and died. The Vi was not picked this time by DRX, but they get the Jarvan. So that's one form of engage.
Yeah.
Squishy Jace, so that feels relatively good.
Well, Cassante, bit of a look here. The Dusante that we have praised in the past could be a scary one, and does provide them with a bit of a front line as Zoe. That is what Showmaker decided to do and lost.
There is a possibility this Jace is top still.
True.
Let's see. We'll probably find out right here. The Jarvan already locked in. But
Man, I'm
it would
intrigued.
be blind, of course, and the Cassante is going to get taken instead, so...
Malzahar
is fake and not real and can't hurt you.
It can. It certainly can.
I don't think it's real.
It's been here for a while. It's still looking at me.
I think it's just a bug.
I think Malzahar is going to now describe what the history of the Void is. Because we were asking Kassadin to do it, and I think that Malzahar might be better at it. As instead, we got some Shadow Isles, as Gwen is going to be locked away, and so that will confirm that we do have the Aurora in the mid lane.
Aurora into Zoe feels pretty decent. You have the Gwen into the Cassante, which is a really nice matchup. A lot of side lane power. Great follow-up to a Cataclysm with both of these champions. So let's see what kind of setup DuckDom and Peter are looking for in the bottom side of the map. This is something that both teams are looking for. Obviously, there's a bottom 2v2. Do you prioritize blocking out some supports? I think if you're DN Supers, probably you should be if you're planning on playing a scaling carry. The Nautilus ban screams, I'm going to play Zeri.
True.
But they banned Misfortune, which is something I mentioned in the previous series, I think really rising in popularity right now. I think it's only a matter of time before we see this start to come out here in the LCK a little bit. It's really good with Jarvan and with Aurora, so that's probably why they do ban it.
I imagine Gio probably thinking about a Zeri angle himself. Could be one of those options here.
I mean, there's so much engage gone, right? Leona's gone, Nautilus is gone, the Rel is now gone.
All right.
So it feels very safe to play Zeri here. Maybe you should ban it, DN Super, especially because you're playing a poke comp.
Could be something that they're looking for. Let's see what this final ban is going to be. Ezreal's still up as well. I think that's something that DNS would really like to pick themselves. And so it could be a denial for DRX if they do want to go that angle, but instead the Ashe is going to be taken away.
That's actually a pretty good one. Very safe. can even set up the Cataclysm into big damage in a circle.
Well, let's see what this next pick is going to be. Likely, Gio going to be picking away the champion that he wants to be playing here.
Zeri or Ezreal are the two safest picks, but instead, a little bit of burst damage. I was saying earlier, I would not have been happy watching Gio play Lucian last year, but this year, especially his form right now in LCK Cup, I'll trust it.
All right, well, I don't know whether it necessarily fits the composition or what they're facing at the moment. I'm a bit worried about it.
Braum in this draft, obviously, but there's still the Nami, which I don't think is really something you can pick away. But Lulu is also available. I could just play a Lulu lane into this Lucian Nami if they want. Doesn't work extremely well with the rest of this composition. This is where things get a little tricky. Oh, we're doing this again. Actually, Kalista Renata goes really hard into Gwen Jarvan.
That is a really good point. Gwen can immune the hostile takeover in theory, but I do feel like having a lot of lane presence with a composition like this that really wants to get ahead, poke comps from behind, just kind of do nothing. So a good idea to have a powerful bottom lane, but we did see that the Lucian Nami can actually go toe-to-toe at certain instances in the lane. So you do have to be very careful with how you play it out. Dr. and Peter are going to have to grab that synergy that they built on KT together and really make this one work.
I think, remember earlier when we had the D+ series, like, oh, this game is going to be one side, one way or the other. There's always going to get massively ahead, or they won't, and they'll lose the game. This is a little bit more nuanced than that, because sure, there is the Gwen side lane angle. There's a bit of scaling damage in this Aurora that's relatively safe, and the Lucian is going to be a late game threat, but so will the Kalista, I think, in terms of matching it. I think this game is going to be a bloody game, is what I'll say, more than I think it's going to be an extremely one-sided game. I think we're going to see a lot of skirmishes. I think they could go relatively even, and I think it's going to be possibly the highest kill game we see today. That's my forecast going into this one, because we have a lot of champions that want to spike in the mid-game and run with that spike, so there's not going to be a whole lot of avoiding fights. There's going to be a lot of opportunistic searching for fights.
Yeah, I do think that if it is like a skirmish-heavy game, though, I think that the DN Supers are feeling pretty good about it. With this style of composition, I think they want to kind of scrap with uneven fights and set things up for themselves. If they can get out to a lead utilizing that, that could be an opportunity. But I think there is some stability with what DRX have put together. And so if they can hold them at bay, there's going to be an opportunity here. Having a look at this draft, it's more reminiscent to what we have been seeing a fair bit of so far this season. And so let's see what Joker has for us here as we get onto the Rift for Game 3. All right, here we are. DRX fans in full voice. DN Supers as well being well represented here at the Chijijik LOL Park.
So, Atlas.
Yes.
Let's play a fun game.
I love fun games. They're my favorite kinds of games.
I think it's the type of game that you might find fun.
Okay. Is it a tower defense?
No, but it is kind of a guessing game or an identification game.
Okay.
You know? The type of game that if League of Legends was on Sesame Street, they would probably play.
Okay. I do like Sesame Street.
How much engage the DN Supers have on their composition, do you think?
An. I think they have an engage.
Wouldn't that be the handshake or potential like Cassante?
Oh, I guess flash handshake. I was just gonna say Fate's Call. Just throw Peter at them.
Okay, so we're looking at a similar situation to the last time we saw the Jace, right? Where it's like a lot of poke, but
do you need to engage if you have a range advantage?
If you have a range advantage, you don't need to engage, but that's only if you can see, right? So that requires map control. That's kind of why I like DRX's comp more in this situation, because they have a Jarvan. Nami is, her ultimate and Renata's ultimate do fairly similar things, but the bubble can follow up on a flag and drag, for example. There's some chaining there is.
Okay, Willet just walks away. The little Krogs, though, are going to get denied. So there is that. So Invade going to be in vain for now.
Leashing the enemy bottom duo to get extra money.
There we go. Well, now you got Gio and Andal in a better position here in this lane. As you can see, Peter and Dr. did need to give up lane control by moving over here. So big wave going to be moving its way forward. UCal having a pretty good time here up against Closer in lane for the moment. We'll see whether these bubbles are going to connect and things like that, as Willa now moving back towards his bottom side. will be able to claim his Wolves and Gromp. Pyosik still dealing with the red buff, will now be able to move down towards his bottom side as well, and does have a little bit of a speedier clear for the minute.
Electrocute here versus the Airy. Just aggressive trades on both sides. How many of these shock blasts are we going to see Pyosik hit? We saw almost all of them hit for Sponge in the early game last time around.
He did a very good job.
And that's, you know, why we were joking that they've increased the amount of Korean Jaces quickly.
Well, let's see whether Pyosik is going to be one of them as well. As Yukao going to take a nap momentarily. And with
Ghostblade
finding a Ghostblade, yeah, exactly. Flash does come out as Closer looks for it. He'll find it, and they go 1-for-1. But first blood over to the Zoe, and Closer feeling real good about how this lane is going.
Yeah, that was a near opportunity there with the flash pickup to maybe get out, but he's just too low. He has to all in at that moment when Willer is spotted, because otherwise he will die and also give an assist before he can get the kill on Yukao. So he just does it as quickly as possible there. Not in an opportune moment to really get tons of value of that flash at that state when he did pick it up. But it was a cool idea.
Yep.
He's holding it now.
Very nicely done. Also, denying the assist is fantastic.
Yeah, super important.
So, having a look towards the top side of the map, Dudu has actually evened out the CS, but it was an earlier back for him. Teleports back in. Same thing to be said for Rich as he makes his way back forward. He does have a Ruby Crystal and an Amp Tome now complete.
All right. Shock Blast.
Oh, it doesn't actually connect. As we're going to check this one out from Closer's perspective, just finds the Sleepy Trouble Bubble and Ghost Blades at him.
Looked a little janky there, but that's Zoe.
Yep.
Closer picks up the flash just a second too late.
And I think the turret shot was in the air, so doesn't need to worry about it. Just makes sure that he is out of the way of the Jarvan. As Andel looking for a little bit of an angle here is once again double bubble. Oh, golly. Okay, well, Closer just... That's how you get out of the way. You just walk. That'll do it.
I mean, he's got tier 2 boots. They're made for walking.
Yeah, I guess maybe he runs. Or at least, like, power walks.
Power walking, yeah, I think.
I think you run when you're home guarding, but it's more of a power walk if you've got boots too. There's an all-out here from Dudu. Flash from Rich. He wants none of this, as he doesn't have level 6 yet. Yukao going to have to go back to base once again.
Closer is crushing this lane.
I mean, honestly, ever since the beginning of Game 2, Closer has just been all over the matchup.
He really is, and I mean, he's got cooldown boots, and he is using them quite well to maximize his cooldowns. He actually looks like he's going to maybe even get a plate here. This massive wave. Not sure if he hit that turret or not.
Yeah.
Going to be a mystery for the time being.
Kalista is so echoey.
Yeah, she needs to, you know, turn down the echo from, you know, it's like the Noribong where you have the echo set.
Yeah, like too much reverb, man.
Yeah, turn that down a little bit.
Oh, missed. Okay, so not quite Sponge. Not quite Sponge.
That, Jay speaks a little bit of English, actually.
And as it turns out, he does. Nicely done. As he was
Mark, come on.
He was the jungler before Umpty.
Yeah.
Very cute. Okay. Gio and Andal doing a decent job here towards his bottom side, actually with a little bit of a CS advantage over the Kalista Renata. But I think as skirmishes start to unfold later on, that is when we're going to see a lot of this Renata value from Peter. We'll see how he is actually going to be able to play it out. We know that he is pretty good at this champion from what we saw on KT and Nongshim as well back in the day. As Gio going to get pierced momentarily.
Do see a ward here for Rich, but okay, I thought we were going to see a big collapse to try to get on top of him. This is a aggressive move from Jiwoo.
Yeah, there's the culling. Oh, flash out of the way. The Aqua Prison here is the rest of DNS now trying to turn this one around. There's the Rend. There's Doctor. Okay, some needlework here towards his top side as well as Dudu going down low, but Pyosik is in the area. Flash comes forward, and Rich realizing what's going on here. He doesn't have Flash, and he denies. Oh, never mind, he doesn't. That's actually the kill picked up for Pyosik. And DNS continuing to find advantages as Peter and Doctor. Let's see how this dive's going to go as Willa makes his way down. He's got Cataclysm available, gets the knock up onto Doctor, and slam dunk as the Kalista is taken down. Peter, for some reason, decided to bail himself out. And unfortunately, that is not going to quite work as Jiu just finishes off the kill, and that's a clean dive.
Yeah, a bit of a panic there, I think. That was kind of what I was alluding to on the top side there about what I thought was going to happen to Rich. It did eventually eventuate there, as we'll watch it again. He was pushed up super far. He has this ward, has an aggressive position, looks for the all-in, and then promptly shows up Pioshik. And Pioshik this time hits. So as you mentioned, the assist is going to go through. It's on the wrong side of this one.
Yeah.
And then down here, you know, we did see both summoners used by Peter just a moment before. No bailout for the 80 carry. Peter will promptly die as well.
Yeah, Geo just waits for the bailout to conclude and will then just destroy the Renata pretty comfortably.
It was a very bizarre situation, and even the moment before where we saw Duktom and Peter go in, Geo did not flash or barrier despite using his culling, and I thought they could have even played that more aggressively, but they wanted to guarantee it was going to go well. They end up sending their jungler over. As things going well are not this mid lane for UCal.
No. I would say that one's going quite well for Closer.
Yes.
Who's just portal jumping around, having a really good time. I feel like Zoe was Aurora before Aurora was released, right? With the way that Between Worlds works. Has Duktom getting taken down a little bit. But looks like Geo's not going to be following up with too much more, just putting that culling on cooldown.
Bit of a warning culling.
Yeah, something like that. It's not exactly doing the most, though, as both ultimates available here for the DN Super's bottom lane. And jungle is in position as well. Willa moving down.
If they have to maintain prio if they want to 3v3 this, and they will, and then potentially rotate over. But Willer does have his ultimate, so this is very scary.
Yeah, Pioshik does have that dragon leashed. Should be able to take this one down. First Drake of the game over to DNS, but now Willa makes his way in. Hostile takeover. Gets rid of Willa for the moment, but UCal was trying to come down. He does go between the worlds. Fate's Call comes on through. Duktom looking to try and get bailed out, but it does not work, and UCal's even going to survive. Shock Blast, not quite enough damage. And out goes the Aurora. That is 2 swift kills, but the Drake goes over to DNS.
It was, you know, a bit rocky there in terms of the setup. Could have just been happy with taking the dragon. As we'll see, it's coach voice, actually.
All right.
Talking about Callista.
Yep, trying to see.
It's going to be tough now, but hold on.
All right, making sure that they keep their heads in the game. And I think UCal probably needs the most kind words out of Joker.
So this fight here, like I was saying, they have the Renata ultimate, but you know, Willer is here, and he's a Jarvan, right? UCal actually is able to utilize his ultimate to avoid the pressure as well as get on top of Duktom. UCal plays this incredibly well. And they just have more tools. They don't even have to use all of them.
Yeah.
And ends up being 2 kills here in trade for Dragon, mind you, but significant gold swing back into even here for DRX.
Yeah, and it looks like what you were saying is actually coming true, Will. The fact that there's just been so many engages as, oh dear, UCal could be in a little bit of trouble, but does get woken up a little bit prematurely.
There's a lot of situational engage tools for DNS, like this Trouble Bubble, like the Jace Hammer.
Yeah.
You know, Cassante pulling somebody through a wall with the All Out.
I think that, like, there's also the fact that if you're a poke composition, you don't need engage. Because you just kind of shoot them from far away.
But if they get to you, because you're holding on to a dragon like that, then there can be problems. It's also early days in this game, but this is a huge swing of momentum. Right now, Peter and Duktom, we don't have their ults just yet. Duktom doesn't have flash, can't farm the minions. So that's kind of an issue.
And it's a 1.6k gold advantage for just Geo. So he's having a very good time. Teleport to bring this Cassante in, though, as Geo needs to get himself out of there. Teleport does come on forward. There's the flash. They're trying to hold on to this Nami as the all-out gets him really far away. Tidal Wave is kind of the opposite direction, but sometimes you panic and you just press a button. I think he was just not dead.
Just trying to tell him which way to go.
There we go.
He was like, get on your skimboard, let's roll.
He's like, body surf your way out.
Body surfing out. Well, Geo is left alone here, but I think he's okay with it.
Yep, culling is going to soften up Peter, but not too much more going to happen from that one.
Rich
1 versus 3, though. It's diveable.
Rich is going to get some free push time here before Dudu shows back up with that teleport attempt there on the bottom side. And it looks like he's not going to get the plate. We'll just back away. That was the Cassante situational engage I was talking about.
Yeah. And that's the engage by placing your body between the bad guys and where they want to go. And that kind of works out as well. Riftmaker now completed here for Rich, but still slight advantage for Dudu, whose Dusante has been working out quite nicely. Bubble going to connect as once again, Closer just having a really good time. Finds the paddle star there, as you can see, and is going to upgrade those boots of lucidity.
If you look at the farm for UCal and his current level, which is almost a whole level behind Closer, you can see that he is clearly making a statement that he is not doing the strategy of killing the minions. He is doing the strategy of killing the champions and hoping it works out. He will have to kill quite a few more of them if he wants to catch up into Closer, as he has not been killing the minions. That's not his strategy in this game.
No. He hasn't been, I mean, he's killed 2 of the champions, so I guess there's that. But currently we can see that it's 900 gold in the deficit, and right now he's taking a nap. Taking a nap is not how you do the winning, especially when you get hit by Shock Blast as well. Willa's making his way over though as UCal goes between the worlds, and there is a Cataclysm looking to try and hold this Zoe at bay as Pyoshik at full health, but he's not going to be able to help out and even gets knocked up by the tidal wave himself. And Closer going down there. It is another kill the champions strategy there for UCal, but it's actually a kill taken away by Willa.
He says, assisting my teammates in killing the champions is also part of my strategy.
Aha, perfect. I didn't know the whole strategy. That was my fault.
Yeah, no, I didn't fully explain it, so that's on me. And obviously, UCal can't talk to us right now. He's kind of busy.
Yeah.
He's making a bit of a statement, but, you know, it's not fine print. As Willer will have to do some Jarvan things now, but I don't think he's ever really worried. He's just a little bit annoyed.
He flagged and he dragged, and he was okay. So we're gonna have a look at this one more time.
Closer is just way too far up, and you know what Pyoshik doesn't have? Engage or peel.
No.
So the Jace isn't really going to be able to do much here. This kind of reminds me of when everyone was saying Zed was great, and I was like, I don't know, he doesn't have CC.
Well, Doctor may not have living for very much longer. Does have to flash to get himself out of the way of that one.
I think Jace is really strong, but both of these comps haven't really suited him. As Doctor may just die?
Yeah, Gio actually takes 3 turret shots or something. Maybe it was 2. It was an angry turret, nonetheless.
Got the backstop, and another wave is going to crash through, and no one is here to catch it, so that's just the turret.
Yep. Takes the barrier as well from Doctor, so won't have that for the next little while. As Peter moving over, that is going to be Drake. Started up here by DRX. That's why that turret is not something they're going to stick around for, wanting to make sure they're not going to have these Drakes stacked up against them. UCal off to the side. Between worlds, very close to coming off cooldown. Cataclysm as well, 7 seconds away.
Another Chemtech Dragon.
All right, another Chemtech Soul. Kind of good for Gwen. Get a lot of extra health back and stuff like that from your Riftmaker.
So, Closer got the Wolf turret, which is going to really empower him on the map as Rich.
Just trying to run with scissors here just a little bit. Dudu finding a great angle, gets the needlework out of Rich. Rich is now just going to go back home.
Do we hit these?
Well, Rich can
I'm
press
still
W.
asking. I'm once again asking, do we hit these? No.
Yeah, presses W and is going to be A-OK. Will is making his way forward, though. There's the knock-up, and Tidal Wave once again gets a flash out of Pyoshik. Flash immediately out of the Cataclysm as Willa goes in, and now between worlds, UCal wanting to find the kill as the bailout. I don't think is going to work, and that is a kill over to UCal. Kill the champions, Wolf. That's what he's doing. Willa once again flagging and dragging, but Peter does have the flash, and that will be able to keep him alive. But DRX, they're just killing way more champions this game.
If he kills 2 more champions, he'll actually even up the gold at this point. And believe it or not, when the champions are dead, part of his strategy is it gets easier to kill the minions. He doesn't really enjoy it, but he will do it. It's honest work.
Man, I really want to be there when you're talking to UCal about all of his strategies.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm reading between the lines on his movements on the map.
Aha,
Spelling
wow.
out. I could speak UCal.
You're the UCal whisperer.
Yeah, I could speak UCal a little bit. I can tell you that after the first death in this game, he told everyone he would like to fall out of his chair, but he was told by his team that that was not appropriate. He will not be doing it again. Oh, Duckdom!
Yeah, Rich doesn't get hit by the Pierce, but let's see whether he can actually kill Duckdom and Peter here, as it's taking them a long time to get through him. Oh, the bailout's procced, and the rend is not enough. 2 versus 1. Rich loves those odds, as now Willa looking to come on forward as well. Will be able to knock up Peter here, and there is no turret, ladies and gentlemen. That is a dead Renata right there. Holds onto the flag and drag. There it is. And not exactly in the greatest of positions, but still will be taking him down. Bailout or no bailout, that is a dead Renata. And Pyoshik's like, well, at least I'll take my Krugs.
Yeah, I won't be taking all of them, but he won't be taking his red buff either, actually.
Oh, Tidal Wave. Throws a boat. Sometimes you just want to throw a boat.
Wait, he got it, actually.
Yeah, he did. Shock Blast. Got to pick that one up.
Okay.
Nicely done. Throwing a boat, that's a thing in the other game, isn't it?
The other game?
Yeah, you know the other game? the game that this game is sort of like modeled after a little bit.
Yeah, it's a bit boat. There's a bit of boat action.
Yeah, it's a bit like a boat guy in that one. We got a boat lady in ours.
Yeah, Lost Viking is like, get in the boat. So conditional engage, right? Conditional engage. It hit. They are in the mist, so he's not immune. However, he is Gwen. That is a level 9 champion. He's a level 12 champion.
Yeah.
So...
And the other one's a level 7 champion.
Yeah. That was a bit opportunistic. Optimistic. If it were bro, I'd say optimistic, but no. This game for DNS has been a bit of a tragedy. You know, they started off with such a huge lead. Things were going swimmingly. The Zoe looked infallible. Still up in gold. Still up in item.
Yeah.
But
the entire top lane is leading, in theory, here for the DN Supers.
crowd control seems to be a strong tool, as Willer has shown us in this game with his 7 out of 9 KP.
Yeah, 304 on the job, and he is frightening. There is a lot more of the killing the minions that Pyoshik's done. But I don't know whether that is going to work, because it's not translating into dead champions. It's Doctor, my god, the damage from Jiu here, who just cancels the culling and is not quite able to kill Doctor. He didn't have flash, but he was able to at least use that martial pose to get out of the way, and the barrier did need to be utilized.
Yeah, they need to be careful because Closer is in the area. He is the main character for DN Supers right now. Doctor, unfortunately, was removed from the game. He was retconned.
He was.
In this one.
They just didn't really feel like the storyline was that interesting, I guess.
They killed him on screen.
All right. Well, Yukal is going to get sleepy once again. Let's see whether... yeah, he's just really dead. That's the 1-2 punch from the Jace and the Zoe.
Maybe a turret and trade here in the mid lane, but they are getting something out of this Zoe that is...
They are trading Yukal's happiness for Jiu's happiness. That's what they're doing. Both Doctarm and Yukal just having the most horrible time ever. But there is certainly fun times to be had for their teammates. And so let's see whether they can focus on that.
He had a few fun times in this game.
Yeah.
I don't think Doctarm has had any fun times in this game.
No. He is 0-3 and 0. So that would certainly equate to not a whole lot of fun times. It's the flanking numbers in the scoreline that really do dictate happiness. As okay, Will looking for a bit of an angle here, doesn't quite find the knockups, but Pyoshik's in a little bit of trouble. He does have to flash to get out of the Cataclysm. Another big old boat flies by, but it doesn't find too much joy there as Jiu gets distracted and starts shooting his teammates. Hostile takeover though, not exactly the most impactful. As Yukal, I don't know about that one, as he dives into the enemy team and does give Doctarm a little bit more happiness. It's a triple in the end for the Callista as Jiu, oh, do not throw away that big old bounty, my friend. He throws in the culling, but it doesn't really do too much. And DNS, I mean, Baron's been around for 30 seconds. Maybe they're just going to take it down.
There's no ult here for Jiu. There's no tidal wave. I think trying to make something of this is asking for that shutdown to go over, but they are just simply not willing to give it up.
Oh, Jiu taking matters into his own hands, I guess, as the Baron will be going down, but can they get anything? There's a handshake, Jiu. I just don't know whether that was worth it, my friend. And but I do know. I actually want to talk about it. Yeah, it was. I'm going to say it was not.
When I said Jiu was more confident, more aggressive.
Beach ball.
He is. He really, really is. It was very well showcased in this moment that he is not shying around, that he is like, okay, I got a lead, I'm gonna try to push it, but that was probably not the moment. That was, pick your battles, but don't pick that one.
Yeah.
This was the big bursty damage.
That was a very dead Yukal.
This fight is incredibly broken up, right? And Ronda loses half his health bar initially. The engage is on to Pyoshik, who's able to get away. And from here, Yukal, little crazy, little psychopathic, right? Like watch Yukal go in just a moment here. Oh. Yeah, going into 5 people. There's no way to save you. There's no way to protect you, my man. All the tools were used.
And the Dusante actually finding a great angle with that final Q to lock down the next kill.
Jiu, sometimes, you know, you're like, it's me against the world, and this was one of those times. But maybe it didn't have to be.
It did not have to be. Yeah. Peter did have a great handshake there, though, so certainly something to be spoken about. But the Rebel Baron power play sitting at 2.7k right now, and there is still a minute and a half left on the buff. This is looking like a blowout moment.
Yeah, it certainly looks like now even Duckdom is relevant, and I don't know what conclusions we're supposed to draw from this game. Like, does this mean Jace is good? I don't really think we learned anything about that, but Jace is good when Zoe sets him up and they both hit their burst at max range.
Very true.
That much, I guess, we learned.
We also learned that UCal struggles as the day gets later because these last two performances have not been phenomenal, and we'll see whether he can pull it together moving into this late game as they're looking to try and break the siege. But that's exactly what this composition does. I mean, the siege is ridiculous. You just saw that shock blast. That means that this inner turret is dead. That's just all there is to it.
And it's about to be another one coming straight at you. Pure Shake, line it up. The observers are ready.
Battlestar not going to quite find you, but the shock blast does. And that spells the end of this inhibitor turret as well. DRX realizing that they really need to do something or their base is just going to fall apart.
They have flash on their Jarvan, but everyone is grouped. There's not a great target here. So Willer needs to find an angle, but it's just so tough.
Yeah, the Dusante, we're going to try and take this turret down as Willer looks for the angle there. Does put Duckdom in the Cataclysm as, okay, there's a tidal wave running forward. Duckdom in a little bit of trouble, but does, oh, UCal gets into the backline again and just gets wiped out. The bailout was there anyway from Duckdom. Uses both of his summoners, but this is exactly what they're there for, as the DN Supers might be on the verge of their very first victory here in the LCK Cup after a disappointing first week. DRX unfortunately not able to make it happen here. And they have shown a fair bit of promise. Their first game was great, and then they sort of fell apart at the seams in the last two.
This has been a pretty sobering series, I think, for DRX fans who were on the hype train after some really good performances, not only earlier today, but last week. As this engage was the desperate one they were hoping for. Like, they had the tidal wave. Duckdom's fairly low, so UCal is like, maybe, but look at the shield.
And it looked like Peter rode the tidal wave as well. It was actually really cool. We were talking about body surfing before. He did it because the Fate's Call kind of pulled him along it, which was very fun to see.
That was some very high locket value for Peter in that fight. And Duckdom was not really in any danger, despite UCal's best intentions there, to kill him. They were not good intentions for Duckdom, but Duckdom didn't care. This one seems it's really reaching its conclusion at this point, Atlas. IE is done for Jiu, and it's a really cool sword he's going to put in his storage case. Like, he's got a case for it for sure. We can keep it in. I mean, won't be wielding it really in this game.
If they can find a good team fight angle before all the poke comes in.
Willer just used his flash Cataclysm earlier, so doesn't have that flash anymore. I mean, UCal has his ult back, but he is on two items. Man.
Dudu is also an entire item ahead of Rich.
Banshee's Veil.
Very far behind.
We have Edge of Night. Okay, here's the flank.
Yeah, let's see whether they can make it happen as UCal once again going between the worlds. There's a Cataclysm into the backline as UCal's dead once again. And Jiu is just trying to get away from this Cassante, who is just way too big. Rich gets into that backline, though. They do manage to take down the Jace, as Closer still hunting for the rest of DRX. A 1 for 2 so far, as it's probably better than what DRX could have been hoping for prior to this. But there are a lot of people now trying to take down some Nexus turrets. It's Jiu. Let's see what he can actually get done here. Needs to get out of the way of this brick wall that is Dudu, who just dives towards him. Duckdom almost falling down here, but Willer, can he get it? The knockup does come through, and Rich turns up to try and take down this Callista once again. But the Dusante says you are not winning this game, and Rich will be falling. It's a triple for the Zoe, and Closer once again showing that he's the better mid laner here in this series today. UCal will be respawning, but I just don't know whether that's going to mean too much here for DRX, as him and Andal are just doing their very best to try and find it here. Great Q3 from Dudu to try and lock down UCal, who is just desperately trying to kill minions, trying to kill Closer, and neither are things that he's really managing to figure out. As all the heal comes through there from Andal, but tidal wave not going to be enough. And down will go both of them. Jiu shows up yet again, though. Oh, can he actually find a couple of kills before his Nexus inevitably dies? The answer is yes, there's one. Dudu is now getting very low, and I think this game is a disaster. Peter now running away, and there's the culling. So, you know, a lot of them are dead, but the Nexus is very exposed.
Yeah, the Pommet Collector, or not Pommet, Pombo Collector just appeared, and then and then walked away. Well,
All
not
right.
walked away, but sent a message to confirm the game and not ended. Did not collect.
Speaking of confirming things, we have an update. There's actually no official name for Renekton's weapon. It's just referred to as a crescent blade or axe.
Sounds like they need to get on that.
Yeah, so it's
Man, I
we can
sure
call
hope
it
that
the crescent of truth.
I sure hope that I one day can buy a model Renekton and it'll have really high detail on its crescent blade / axe.
Well, it may just have that, as he's in the Cataclysm, but who's trapped in where with who? The rest of his team is just not there.
I
so
personally did not witness, I was not there, I was on a plane, but I was told Legends of and then watched a VOD of a 10,000 gold lead from a certain organization.
No.
Oh,
Wolf, no, surely no. No. They would never do it again. They couldn't do it again. Oh, no. There's no way. No, don't even say it. Don't put it into existence, Wolf. Don't say stuff like that. They are not losing this game.
Production, can I take a look at the gold difference over time? Let me pull that one up. We might need to take a look at where it once was.
I suggest not looking at that. Oh, okay. G-Sun's going.
Put a bit of a dip. 11,000. So we're kind of on par.
Hey, wait, but they had a really large gold lead, and if it's really large and then halved, it's still pretty big.
Yes, but what if it goes, what if you get the other half? It's not like it halves again and goes 2.5.
But Wolf, they have no Nexus turrets and stuff. Well, I mean, they will in about a minute.
Look at that inhibitor.
Yeah.
What's it doing? What's it doing, Atlas?
Oh, it has respawned! They've all respawned! Oh, goodness. Okay.
See those timers? Oh.
Wait, Dudu's caught? Dudu's caught! He takes the Mega Cone. He takes the Mega Cone. Docked arm. Okay, Gio, not going to overchase.
Okay, so
wait.
I actually kind of have to think about win cons for a second. For about 5 to 7 minutes there, I was like,
Nexus needs to explode.
About 5 to 7 minutes there, I was like, all right, well, this game's a foregone conclusion. Let's think about POM and where we're going with it. And I was like, is it PO-Shig or is it kind of close or did it kind of pop off? Had a decent game in game 2, but now I'm starting to wonder.
Is it Willer?
Yeah. Is it Jiwoo?
Maybe it's just Andil. Maybe it's Joker.
I wonder if the DNS coaching staff is currently discussing how they will talk to Dudu about running into the fountain instead of hitting.
I mean, Dudu doesn't do a massive amount of Nexus damage. To add insult to injury, ladies and gentlemen, it was an 11,00001. 11,000 gold lead, 100. As Willer looks for the Cataclysm, and Dudu is in the right position right now. Hostile takeover, not doing a massive amount of work though. As this is what DRX need to do. They just need to hard engage every single time.
And they got a lot of damage done. They're going to get a lot of map control from this.
Beach ball goes wide.
Was not taken, you know, at this game. We're sitting at 2 dragons apiece, right? This next dragon's not up for 2 minutes, and it's not even the soul. It's just soul point from whoever gets it. This game is
there is still an outer turret in the top lane, Wolf.
Yeah, also, you know what's the craziest thing?
What's the craziest?
Like the crazy... Okay, hold on. I'm going to blow your mind.
Okay,
UCal still doesn't have a third item.
Oh, God. I mean, that is crazy. It's not a happy crazy,
I'm looking at that, I'm like, wait a minute, is that even... He doesn't have a third... He does not have his Void Staff.
Hey, look, at some point this game, all of these players didn't have a third item, okay?
That's true.
He's a late bloomer.
Seems to have 4, though, right now, and he does not have his third, but...
I mean, Jiwoo's got a casual Quicksilver Sash, and he's down.
Okay, here's the problem, Atlas. Remember we were talking about conditional engage earlier?
Got it. They
don't have Baron anymore, but they had it, and they got enough map control back. They don't have that vision thing we were talking about, hit the poke, so they don't have engage either. And Rich is just pushing aside as a level 18 Gwen. He's about to be level 19, just hit it.
Oh, God, yeah.
How do they deal with DRX now? They don't have any tools. They're going to hit that poke, hit that handshake.
I feel like they should deal with them the same way they dealt with them for the rest of the game.
Yeah, but
by killing them all the time.
But that was when they had a little bit more even map control. Now they don't have it really at all. So it's going to get a little bit tricky. It's going to get a little bit hard.
Well, I mean, okay. So positives for DNS are that they still have a lot of turrets still available. Positive for DRX is they can kill a lot of turrets that are still available.
Yes. And then the
to get money
further.
Yeah. All right. Willow looks for the angle once again. Handshake gets rid of him. And there's the shock blast. That's what needs to land as Jiu gets closed in on. There's a hostile takeover, and he explodes with the Ren damage. Peter now in trouble. It's a double kill for Doctarm, who gets put in the bubble. Dudu looks for the angle. It's a triple! And I told you that it was impossible. There was no way they were going to be able to withstand the power of the DN Supers this time around as they march up the mid lane. Only Willa and Rich.
Are you telling me or are you telling Dudu and Pioshik who lived it?
I don't know. I think I'm telling myself and hoping that it is indeed true as Closer looks for it here. Rich is still very scary as Willa just trying to take care of Closer momentarily. He has a GA, but Rich not going to be able to help bail him out, I don't think. And there's only so much needlework that can be done here. As a lot of buttons are going wide, he's trying to pull the minions, goes golden.
10 seconds on Geo, well, there's no way, right?
Yeah, I mean, these turrets are just going to fall like paper. Geo is going to show up. He's marching out with that big old horse, but there's the all out as he looks to try and take down Closer. He does at least get one, but Dr. is focused on the Nexus, and down it will go. There is the first win of the season here for the DN Supers. As, yeah, Pioshik dying there almost cost the DN Supers everything. As this last-ditch effort to defend, just not quite enough there. Rich, cute little idea, going for the Marin tech of pulling the wave away, but as soon as he goes golden, the minions lose interest. And these Nexus turrets were just not that healthy.
Yeah, they really weren't. They respawn with less health, so they just die. They're made of paper. Gio still made this kind of interesting and cinematic as he went down, but this time not able to save the day.
Yeah, good target selection there to make sure that he was focusing Dr. and Closer, but there was a GA on this Kalista anyway. And yeah, DRX not quite able to make it across the line. You could see there was a bit of a dip, but this time around, it was not the heartbreak that DNS were suffering against the Bros last year. It was a little bit of a better outcome. It's Closer that picks up the player of the match here with his Rise performance that was outstanding, and Zoe really making Yukal's life hell.